Hey, we're the Triangle Interactive Arts Collective. We're a group of game devs, artists, designers, and weirdos from the Triangle region of North Carolina. Our group is focused on organizing regular events that support the creative practice. We focus on creating a community of support for independent creators and helping beginners or students find their footing. Here's what we've been up to in our first year. We meet once a week for co-working at a local free co-working space. We do playtesting and project sharing events to get feedback on our work. We have a Game of the Month club where we play a game and we talk about it. We go together to shows, conferences, and local events and share booth space. We occasionally do game jams together. Here's our entry for the GMTK Jam this year. We're even planning a tiny one-night game conference where lots of local creatives will take to the podium to give little short rants. Eventually, we'd like to become a non-profit, have our own hybrid co-working and gallery space, host residencies for local artists, and start selling our work together. We're really happy at the organic growth in our community over the last year, and we feel like we're filling a niche that wasn't previously addressed by the professional-focused game dev associations in the area. Thanks for watching our video, and if you're ever in the Triangle area of North Carolina, that's here, look us up on Meetup or online somewhere and come to one of our events. Chances are we're organizing something that week, so we'd love to see you there. And if you see our booth out in the wild somewhere, probably at an event on the East Coast of the US, come say hi.
JICC. pose this in opposition to kind of the larger game industry, quote unquote, because a lot of times, like most industries, there are huge companies where most of the popular gaming output is, more or less controlled by them, to where that's what you see. And it's not necessarily even like evil corporations or anything. It's just a lot of smaller voices and smaller developers don't get seen just by the nature of how that works. So Games Y'all is really cool because it shows, it's kind of like the classic music underground of the game scene, where you get to see more variety because not everything is a corporate franchise. You get to see more personal artistic expression, games that are made by only a few people, and oftentimes deal with more personal topics, to where honestly you'll see things that you're not even sure if they fit into the category of games or not, but it's still conducive to what you understand video games or games in general to be. So it's very refreshing as a result of that. And I think the reason why I stick around, and why I think I will stick around even if I kind of move up the corporate ladder somewhere, is that you get to see all this colorful, creative underbelly that you wouldn't otherwise see if you're just working in a corporate environment where, again, you just don't have as much freedom. And basically what I've seen at Games Y'all and the local game events is that it doesn't have all that pretense of what you're supposed to be doing. Instead, it's really like, hello, this is a group of other people that are also game developers. Sometimes even big names in the industry, but they're just normal people too who want to work on games that are different, games that are thinking outside of the box, and games that aren't necessarily made to make money, but instead to kind of attract attention and express themselves. So that's what I appreciate about Games Y'all. Another aspect that I really appreciate about Games Y'all is that it very much so shows that game development is always a work in progress. And while you're working at bigger companies, or especially if you don't have a professional position in game development, all that you may see is the end result of games, the kind of polished vision. Whereas in Games Y'all and similar small local events, you will see games that are still actively being worked on. You'll be able to participate in the iterative feedback phase of it, to where you get to kind of not only see other people, how they're steering their own ships, but also become a part of a team, and before you know it, you've participated in something that actually gets out there, that is seen in the game development industry, which is really exciting because it's not like you don't have to do any job interviews or anything. You just come, show up, participate, and it's very organic the way that you can make friends, make acquaintances, kind of get to know people who are working in the industry, especially local people, but even people that are across the country who are, again, like smaller independent developers. It's more connected than you think, and it feels reassuring to know that other people are they're just people too, and they're just working on games that they want to work on, oftentimes while holding down jobs that are really not game development related, but that's just the way it goes. Welcome to Games Y'all.
I'm Momo Pixel, and I'm the creative here in Awe. The concept behind Hair Now was basically my lived experience. I had wrote a script literally about somebody reaching to touch somebody they just met's hair. And I remember trying to explain it to like coworkers. And I remember seeing them acting out because they couldn't wrap their mind around it, right? Because it sounds preposterous. And I remember as I watched them trying to act it out, I was like, this would be so much better if it was a game. You know, my mind was just like, a game visually shows it and you could play it and so you would understand. My number one was to create something for people who this had happened to relate to it, right? Like I wanted to create something that was kind of cathartic in a way. And then after that, I wanted to make something where it would teach, right? It's like, okay, for those who do it, you need to know this is not the way.
My name is Dustin Long. I'm a board member and the president of Death by Audio Arcade, and I helped to make the Hair Not arcade cabinet. Death by Audio Arcade is a 501c3 nonprofit, and it manages the indie arcade cabinets that mostly exist at Wonderville. Summer of 2020, we applied to a Brooklyn Arts Council grant with the idea of making a game themed after not using your hands, something that was following the recommendations around hand washing and not spreading germs and things like that.
The idea was, we wanted to build something new, but with COVID, we didn't want to touch anything. And so we decided to have an open call for submissions, and then based on what we got, we would build something based on that game.
I've always wanted to have an arcade cabinet. Like, that's what I grew up on. That's what first got me excited about video games. So I'm super excited with the end product. Working with Death by Audio Arcade was awesome. It was super educational. Like, I'm really into fabrication, even though sometimes I'm not that good at it. So it was really nice to be like surrounded by people who just can execute things so well and like so efficiently and fast.
Especially with the Brooklyn Arts Council grant and the open call that we did, we wanted to kind of offer the services and the knowledge that we've gained over the years to other developers in the community and kind of enable other people to make arcade cabinets for games that they envisioned. So it's kind of a democratization of that medium, and yeah, it's exciting to be a part of.
It's been really amazing to see Hair Now running at Wonderville. It's a really fun game to play, and it's unlike anything else that's here. And I think also I see people connect with it, like they go and like grab their friends and pull them over, and they're like, you have to check this out. And I think it's really exciting to have a game with a message in the arcade.
People are learning that games can be fun and educational, right? That's why I'm proud of it, because everything that I wanted the game to do, it did.
Hello, we are gamedev, a community of Guatemalan game developers. We host game jams, events, and empower each other through collaboration. We host weekly hangouts, and on the last Wednesday of every month, we host Play a Game. Play a Game is an event where any developer can share their progress on their game in front of the whole community. We also do an event called Game Overnight, which is a showcase about Guatemalan games from students to hobbyists to professionals. Game jams are at the core of our community. Our Independence Day Jam is hosted on the month of Guatemalans' independence. We are also a longtime host for the Global Game Jam here in Guatemala. Check out gamedevgt.com and join our Discord. Now, check a look at these games made in Guatemala.
What we do here is go back.
In 2012, a series of underground nomad arcade machines started to emerge from the guts of Argentina in search of players around the country and beyond. Experimental video games, pinballs, and even a bizarre avant-garde foosball table are part of this movement that takes place not only at traditional arcade bars and alleys, but also at parties, conventions, concerts, galleries, and outside, in the streets, for free. Their makers are small creative bands with the most diverse backgrounds, from film to science, from sculpture to engineering, from cheap music to toy making. And their players are everyone, from nostalgic boomers to clueless cool kids, from casual enthusiasts to hardcore fans, from esports competitors to tabletop game geeks. Welcome to the Argentinian arcade scene.
with a gun. Did that just come from the sky?
So since our first siege in 2014, we've been able to appear at 25 plus conferences. MomoCon, Southern Fried, some of the ones that I've mentioned before. BlurCon, Urban NerdCon was just this past couple months. And there was a few others. Southeast Game Exchange out in Greenville. There's like a huge market here in the Southeast for independent games and for just game industry period. And the cluster has made a good name for itself. And the whole beauty of the cluster is once people know us, chances are they're also going to know the games that come with us.
Go ahead. Wait, where's the other one? Ah. Motherfucker, mother beat my motherfucker.
Come on, man. Wait, what'd you think about the indie cluster?
The cluster's going great so far. It's way more packed than last year. So many people, it's awesome.
This is awesome. I haven't seen Siege like this for the indie cluster ever. I think it was like 17 or 21 games here. It's nice to see all the indie developers here in the Georgia area being able to present their games and have people review and get feedback.
My hopes for the indie cluster is for it to continue growing, having a greater outreach, get more developers involved, and not just become a Georgia-based community anymore, but reach out across the nation and eventually even across the globe and unite all of the indie developers onto one umbrella so that they can communicate and get themselves known, because right now it's a chaotic mess, and getting it together for all the indie developers to communicate and find each other would be a great thing for our future.
I hope that it will continue to grow, that more indies will show up, that we'll start attending a wider range of conferences and conventions, that we can have more tools and more community involvement, just with people in the cluster talking to each other and interacting with each other and helping each other grow. But also people outside of the cluster seeing the cluster and getting to understand, like, people are putting blood, sweat, and tears into these games, just trying to make them work. So trying to make it out there. So.
Go. Oh goodness. That's crazy. Come on. Stretch. E. Pick it up. Yeah. We may have these types of fun anymore. Yes. Hello. Oh my gosh.
In the mail about your car's extended warranty. Since we have not gotten a response, we are giving you a
Hi, hello. We're coming to you from Australia, in Canberra, on Ngunnawal country. We're gamedev, the Canberra game developer community. Canberra's the capital of Australia. It's a small city, and it's often called the bush capital. You can probably guess why. Even though Canberra is a small place, we're a really close-knit community of game developers who are always punching above our weight. We're students, hobbyists, and industry professionals, all sharing knowledge and helping each other to make games that we can get excited about. People in the local scene have spent time working in game dev all around the world, and then they bring their expertise back home. People in gamedev describe the scene as a community of people to inspire, motivate, collaborate, and support. I think my favourite description that I've heard is that we're a group of friends who make games. Here's a look at just some of the incredible games made by members of gamedev. Thanks for stopping by.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hi, Pig Squad.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. My name is Will Lewis, and I'm so excited to thank all of our volunteer organizers for all the work that they do to make the Portland Indie Game Squad possible. We actually have some new announcements for who is on the team as of this September 2022. Our friends Dylan and Christy will be joining the board. Brian will be moving into a lead volunteer position, and we actually have two new members of the organization team. One is Merlin and one is Alex, and both of them will be joining us in lead volunteer roles. So let's give them a round of applause and hear a little bit from them.
Hey, my name's Merlin. I've been making games with Pig Squad for about 10 years, and I can't wait to keep making games with you all and play and stream more of your games.
Hello, my name is Alex Benson, and I have been jamming and hanging out with Pig Squad for about 2 years now. and I'm so excited to keep going and to be a greater help to everyone and to jam with y'all and to keep having good times. So I'll see you out there.
What does Pig Squad mean to me?
The inclusiveness of the community. People are from all different backgrounds, from all different skill levels. It doesn't really matter what you know or don't know. It's more, are you willing to help people?
It's so cool to just walk into a room and like everyone is fully considered part of the group. It doesn't matter which one of these little slots you happen to be in, or maybe you're like me, you walk in the door one day and you're like, I don't make games, but I think maybe I'd like to make games.
It was a really welcoming community to me as somebody who wanted to get into making games and didn't really know how, was a total beginner. And thanks to attending events and attending game jams and participating with the community and getting to know people, I was able to kind of turn games into my life and my career, which I'm eternally grateful for.
It's also really rewarding to see what has come out of Pig Squad too, There's a lot of different games that have come out as a result of people meeting and working together.
It's been the reason that I've been able to hone my skills so much and learn a ton and work on my craft and my technical knowledge more so than any point in my whole entire life, I'm pretty sure.
It also gave me the space where I could explore interest in game design and game development.
Because not everyone has access to that, and I think Pig Squad really opens that door for a lot of people.
And there you have it. Many words from our organizing team. Please welcome them, remember their faces, look out for them as we do events, and we will see you all out there.
Pig Squad can go forever. I'm stoked. Games